everybody. This is Mike with Life Uncovered, and we're going to help you to unlock your passion. And I'm very excited for today. A little background about myself. I am a musician. I love music. I grew up playing music. I got my first guitar at age 13. Back when I was younger, I really wanted to be a famous musician, tour, do the whole thing. It was a dream of mine, and still love music today, still recording. And if you're a musician or you're a band and you're working, doing it as a living or just something you love, let me know. I'm totally into bands. I'm really into music and stuff like that, and definitely would like to hear what you got going on. You can also find us on YouTube under Life Uncovered. Also go to lifeuncovered.com, become a member. And what we do is 80% of people don't love what they do for a living. And we feel here that's way too high. We feel that people should be engaged and excited, and it's always a contentious subject. I was at a coffee shop, and I was in Okemos, Michigan, and it was just not too far away from Lansing. And I was talking to a girl, a barista, and about careers, and I said, what are you going into for your career, And she's like, oh, I'm not going to school. I'm just, and I said it kind of in a way like, what's your major? Because I was near a college town. So, and she's like, no, I just want to do what I love for a living. And it was really exciting to see a millennial tackling wrestling with the alligator. And when I was her age, she was about 22. I wanted to go into my second sort of passion, which is psychology and philosophy types of things. And I got into psychology and philosophy through having to be a salesperson. And when I was 16 years old, 15, I was working for a company that sold bulletproof vests for police officers. And I was a kid, and they literally just threw a phone book on a table and said, call people, find leads, and if you don't get any leads today, you're fired. And I was like, wow. So I had the understanding and the moxie to be able to call people, and 99 people would hang up on me, and one would say, we've been waiting for you to call. And I don't know if I was really a good salesperson, but I was definitely smart enough to know not to waste my time, because a 6-hour shift was going to end quickly and I would be fired. So I learned a lot through that company, and I would hear salespeople selling and using techniques, and I almost actually went into that. They tried kind of drafting me to the next level, the full-time sales, becoming the actual people that call the leads and close the deal type of thing, and I just kind of said no mas to it. But it was a great experience, and I like this girl. I went to the Diag in University of Michigan. It's a really great, tranquil place, and I'd spend a weekend at the college just kind of going to the local bar and talking to people, and it's a great city. It really is a lot of fun. If you haven't been to Ann Arbor, Michigan, you got to check it out. It's cool. And when I went there, to the Diag, I was sitting around and just, I went to the library, and I said, maybe I should go into psychology. Maybe I should help people, and something about I don't know, I just kind of pictured a classroom and being a PhD, or having to talk to the students and orating, and I think that would be fun to a point. But why was I wanting this career? And I pictured, because I wanted to have a nice house, a good career, a pretty wife, kind of a thing. And there's a poem, and it's by Robert Frost, the road not taken kind of a thing, or the road least traveled, or however you want to say it. And the poem at the end says, 2 roads diverged into a wood, and I took the one less traveled, and that has made all the difference. And I'm just paraphrasing, it's not kind of, but it's very important to realize, even at that young age, I said, you know what? I'm already, kind of making good money. I did window cleaning part-time. I got my first house that I cleaned at age 16. I was working a telemarketing job, and a friend of mine called me and said, basically, I need help. And I said, well, what do you need help with? And he was a roofer, and his father and him built things, and he says, I got stuff all over this house, and the people are pissed at me and upset. And I said, okay, cool, good luck with that. He's like, no, I need the windows cleaned, and I need the house kind of like hosed off. And I said, okay, well, how much are you going to pay me? He's like, $350. And I went, wow. At the time, I was like making, I don't even know what I was making, $100 a week telemarketing. I don't even realize what I was making. You're a kid, right? So, I bought my first car, Dodge RSK car. Bought it for my dad for like $400, $300, I don't even remember. The ladder cost like $200, and it was huge. I got it at Home Depot, and to this day, I don't even realize how or why I got on this ladder. The house was huge, and I cleaned the windows, and I sprayed off what I could in the house. The homeowner was happy. My friend was happy. I tried my best to make the windows clean. I don't even realize what I was even doing. Actually, I just tried anything. But I got this window cleaning thing in my 20s down to a point, and I had a background in sales. I had excitement for owning my own business, and I don't know why I didn't just hit the buzzer and say, hey, I give up. I'm just going to go into school. And I had every reason to go. And, the thought of getting all of this $100,000 in debt and going to school for 8 years and, do I regret not getting a PhD? Absolutely I do. I could write books under a PhD. You can do consulting. You can go into industrial psychology, which is a field that's a specialized field. That you can work for the corporate world and make high six-figure income. A more seasoned industrial psychologist. You can do consulting. You can work for the government. You can work with the Fortune 500. You can work worldwide. So, but I just realized inside who I was, where I came from, going from being a rock and roller and a person who just had a lot of fun and really prized independence, to be incarcerated in corporate America and working full time for me was too wide of a delta to cover. It was too much for me to fathom. And then college for me, wasn't like a prototypical grade A type of student. I had the capacity to do it, and I believe the smarts to do it. I just, school to me seemed like you put one foot in front of the other. You don't just go from basic math to calculus. There's a pre-algebra in there, algebra 1, algebra 2, and, I just got lost in the ocean of just it being overwhelming. And I really did want to go to school, and, but part of me just was like, So, I got into sales. And sales was a lot of fun. Sales was instant. It was gratification. You got a suit on, and I was in the copier business, and I'd done some other sales, like I mentioned before, but the copier machine business was interesting in the aspects of part of your job was to flirt with secretaries, and I'd have a suit on, and when you go in and you have chocolate, and you're like, hey, how are you today? You look great, and you give them some chocolate and you just try to give that vibe of I like you. How are you today? And not in a I'm trying to word this, not in a flirtatious, serious way, but in a you're beautiful, hi, having a little glow to yourself, or even being empathetic if they look like they're having a bad day. Say, one of those days, ugh. Throw some chocolate down and be like, oh, I hate Mondays, and she'd be like, oh, I hate it too. But that it's not a gatekeeper. That's a human being. And when you walk in and you look great, you got a smile, you got some chocolate, And yeah, women are gonna sit there and roll your eyes. Listen, I'm a chocoholic too. Okay, I love my chocolate. Whenever I see chocolate, it's on my radar. When I even hear the word chocolate, I got problems. Okay, and consequently, I went to this place called Stillwater. It's a restaurant in Brighton, Michigan, and our waitress was kind of having a gruffy day, and we got on the subject of ice cream and desserts and what's your favorite dessert, and she was mentioning something about a cranberry something from some burger place, Five Guys or something like that, and Culver's shakes and man, banana splits. We were talking about shakes and desserts, and other waitresses were chiming in, and you wouldn't believe just how much excitement there is for desserts. But going back to the secretary, it was very important to flirt, very important to be empathetic, very, very important, because let me tell you, when you drop off that card, or you ask the decision maker and drop off a card, and you call back and you say, hey Darlene, it's Mike, I hope you're having a better day, and she's like, oh, I kind of am, and be like, yeah, it really sucked. I say, listen, your office and everything like that, you guys are, I kind of got the feeling that you guys are in the market for, maybe improving things over there. And you got to realize, this secretary, she wants to make a good impression with her boss. She doesn't want some idiot being transferred over to the boss, and then she gets reamed out because she didn't filter the call. And you'd be like, look, when do you think, you can get some intel? When do you guys think you're going to be maybe kind of getting more serious about looking into things? And she's like, you know what, we're she might say, look, we're trying to, the office manager and everybody else, we're thinking about looking into it, maybe by maybe the end of the month or next month. And you kind of get a timeline, you know who's involved, her and the office manager. And I can say, well, you can maybe say, what would you like that would be better, an improvement, we would, something like that. And you should say, maybe, what would you like in a copy machine? And she might say, well, the machine's always broken. It's always broken. And say, okay, cool. Well, and then in your mind, maybe a solution would be they have multiple machines, or maybe, they've got a printer that acts like a copier, printer, copier, or whatever. So, I was in this copy machine business, and I was doing well. But the problem that I had was, even at a young age, and some of you are gonna roll your eyes at this stuff that's important to me, but even at a young age, I kind of realized, hey, we got rush hour traffic. I got getting my suit ready. I got selling, which 25-30% of the time, 40, you're out soliciting, calling. Then you've got to go back and do sales meetings. You got to go back and learn your machines. They're always upgrading the machines, always upgrading the technology. You got demos, and you always got let out of work when rush hour traffic was horrible, and you got to go home and do it all over again. And I kind of started looking at my life saying, do I really enjoy the copy machine business? And one of the things that sucks about sales is, and then sales is another career. So industrial psychology is a specific career which we're going to go into and study. But sales is another career that's very important. But when you're a salesperson, sometimes when you work for a company, there was a lot of people making great money in the cell phone business, and some of them are making $100,000 a year. And some of you are going, wow, $100,000 a year. Some people were making that, and then they changed the incentives. The companies realized, wow, there's these guys are making a lot of money, and a lot of those salespeople dried up, and then some of them went into the mortgage business. Some of them sold cars. This is way before there was a license in the mortgage business, and I could see, the owner of my company at the time. I could see the wheels working in his mind, the mechanical wheels kind of. I could see how he could make it more about his company and his bottom line, and the really awesome salespeople in the copy machine business, they ended up being their own boss, getting their own machines, entering higher positionings with the companies they're in, and they had leverage. I mean, you don't want your rock star salesperson leaving you. So I kind of seen it being an uphill battle, and I went and formed my own business. I formed my own window cleaning business, and it was a struggle at first. I was a host at a restaurant, and this is a great element for people out there. Owning your own business is a great way if you've got a record for whatever reason. If you own your own business and you got your business card and you've got yourself branded, and maybe let's just say you want to cut lawns. If you can cut lawns, if you're physically capable of doing it, and you're capable of making a flyer, all you got to do is Google lawn care and specials on Google. And that's another technique. If you're a window cleaner, put in window cleaning specials on Google and then hit images. And you're going to see every single thing offered under the planet Earth for window cleaning. And it's fascinating because it shows you the degree and depth that your competition is willing to go to get that customer. And if you're passing out flyers in your truck or whatever you're doing, you'll realize through looking at the competition, you'll realize that the flyers they're picking up, what they're offering. Okay, maybe they offer credit cards. Maybe they offer, gutter cleaning. Maybe they offer $50 off for the first call before whatever time of spring. And they're trying to coordinate this with their prime time because you don't want to give away the house during your prime time. You want to get sales ramped up at certain months and yada yada. But if you're starting a lawn care company, people always say to me, "Well, Mike, how do I get started?" And Eureka, maybe you should apply for a lawn care company and see how they do it, see how they route, see what kind of equipment they have, what kind of procedures they do, where they get the machines fixed at. You can ask a million questions that relate to the job because they want you to be prepared, they want you to understand everything. Maybe even get a side job selling lawn care maintenance. Now you're working 60 hours a week, you get your first lawnmower, you get your first accounts. You can always work part-time at a lawn care maintenance company while you're working you're saving up money for 8 or 9 months or a year or whatever for your first lawnmower, a little bit of saving money to get started. And what I did was I was a host at a restaurant. I worked there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or some kind of a mix like that. And it was amazing. I got to work with pretty women and got to eat food and free drinks, free coffee, socialized, and 4 days a week, I grew my window cleaning business, and over a period of 3, 4, 5 months, I was able to full-time do the window cleaning. I got it up to $3,000-$4,000 a month, and I was making great money. I mean, for me, at my age, that was a ton of money. And, when you're in your 20s making $50,000 a year, some people make a lot more than that. But back, 30 years ago, this was I had arrived. I made money. And my first few months I struggled. I ended up following a window cleaner, and I figured out everything he was, everything he was doing, everything he was using, and was hooked. It was in my blood. I was outdoors, which in high school I played football, I wrestled, I did stuff, and I got outdoors, and I just got a real passion for the outdoors. I just loved the outdoors, and I didn't realize I even had the passion until I was working indoors, and I couldn't wait to get out of the building. It's just the building felt stale. I mean, and the coworkers and stuff like that, some were cool, some weren't. Some were, I'd rather not see these people every day, and working in an environment, it's a skill to be likable and to truly authentically get along with people, even if you don't like them just for the sake of it making your life better. But so the window cleaning business was great. I got into it, and I'm still in the window cleaning career, and it is an amazing business. I've been doing it for years. I'm an expert. I make 50, 60, 70 bucks an hour, and if that doesn't excite you, I really don't know what does. So for me, on top of the window cleaning business, I'm also working with Steve here on Life Uncovered. We're really passionate about helping people to break through of the 80% of people that hate what they do. Because if you hate your job, it's physically proven with a specific machine. It's like a MRI thing. It's like it looks at your body circulation, and blue is like calm, and red is like, totally 100% inflamed and stressed out and tense. And if you're having a bad life, if you don't enjoy your career, you come home feeling empty and unpurposeful, the hormones that you are running through your body, basically, if you type in hormones, okay, there's good hormones and there's bad hormones, okay? And look at them like faucets, and there's 100 hormones that are bad for you being every day dripping in your body, and that's the feeling, the emptiness, the lack of passion, the cubicle, the quintessential little tiny cubicle. And look, people, some of you are going to go, well, you know what, I got to make a living. And listen, I'm all about that. I'm not saying as you get older to be reckless. I'm not saying that you have to, you have to, do something you can't stand. That's not what I'm trying to say. But creating a plan and developing a strategy is implicit. And we want to offer careers here that spark that eureka moment of, wow, you know what? I've always loved giving back rubs. I've always, loved networking with people. I've always loved learning about the human body. And maybe you become a massage therapist, and maybe that leads into becoming a chiropractor. That's the kind of yes. That's why I was listening to Life Uncovered today. That's what did it for me. That I unlocked my passion. Crazy. Wow. And that is what we're doing here. And there's 100,000 careers, 200,000 careers. There's billions, 10 billion people on this earth or something like that. Who knows? And the line at McDonald's just keeps getting longer and longer. There's an innumerable amount of careers. We are going to do our best effort to cover what matters and to get, that linchpin, that aha moment, to take people and get them into something that they feel charged up and purposeful with. And it's a lot of fun on top of it. And it's a very wide scope of information that one has to cover. So we are here. I'm here in Michigan, and Michigan we hibernate. And something really cool happened to me. In my past, I also backpacked for a while, and I did it for several years. Backpacked the United States, and it's led to kind of a Forrest Gump life, so to speak. And in Michigan, I normally, like everybody else, kind of start eating the comfort foods. And something happened to me this week. I just want to share it to you. I started really, really wanting to eat foods that are good for me, and not just a little bit. So I've committed myself to making some soups and some salads. My salads have been really delicious, and for snacks I'll have some blueberries or tomato, or maybe I'll have some I'll have maybe a bowl of oatmeal with some blueberries in it. Okay, so you get the gist. I have steak and vegetables, or chicken and vegetables, fish and vegetables, and I have like an orange, or half a banana, or some avocado, or so. But what a amazing feeling it is to eat great foods. Let me tell you, if you're looking for a way to change your life, it's going to sound crazy, but when you eat bad foods, it just makes you feel lethargic. And for me, I'm starving 2 hours later, and so part of the parallels is, we're going to be talking about careers, but in there's going to be a little insertion about how maybe, I'm trying to lose half my body weight. When I was backpacking, I used to walk and bicycle and backpack, and I weighed 180, 175. I was athletic and really strong, and I really missed those days of feeling just healthy and vibrant. And as you get older, I'm 46, you start to, you hear about things happening to people, and you realize, boy, that could happen to me. And so I've really, really got into the health. And let me tell you, it just makes all the difference. It's amazing. And if you're having difficulty in life, somebody that helped me out an awful lot was Sad H Guru. He is an amazing mentor, mystic. Just his insights are absolutely amazing. He goes into a lot of wisdom and things that, quite frankly, that everybody thinks about. And, when you think about insanity, and you think about sanity, what makes a person insane? And you think about something is basic. And you might be driving your car right now. People listen to podcasts at work. They work out at work, or walking, or driving, or, doing the laundry. So, hi, if you're doing one of those things, hello. But, Sadhguru talks about how, people get a little more crazy, or it's like a ring of just crazy. And then outside of a certain ring of crazy, you just can't come back, And all it takes is one bad day of road rage, and, you could find yourself incarcerated or seriously injured or shot. It happens all the time, okay? Or in an accident. You never know. I see people all the time on the highway playing games, trying to run themselves off the road. Every once a month I'll see this. I drive an awful lot with window cleaning, so be safe out there. But Sad H Guru is an amazing. If you've lost touch with yourself and you're stressed out, one of the things Sadhguru talks about is, anxiety and depression, basically, that people have great recall and they've got amazing imagination. And part of the insanity of depression and anxiety is you keep repeating hurtful or intense things over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And you don't quite have control over your faculties, of your mental, emotional, imagination, your feelings. And that is, he goes into, he's a guru, he's a mystic, and he's very intense. And he's from India, so there is quite a learning curve to go from, our culture to their culture, but amazing nonetheless. So when you realize, hiring managers, look, they're people. And you know what? Part of what I did in my life, I was in the mortgage business a few times, and I got out of it the first time because I kind of was just too immature. I was 24 years old, and I tried it out for a bit, and going from the copier business to mortgages wasn't a stretch. And the company I worked for, I looked real good. I went to my college jobs place, which is another tip. Hello. Go into the college or your local college and say, do you guys have any job boards or any places that are hiring? And there was a mortgage company looking to train. And I just thought this was excellent. This was a great opportunity. And Anthony Robbins talked about, and he's a great motivational guru as well. Anthony Robbins is amazing. Some of you will be turned off by his candor. Some of you will be turned on by it. So whatever floats your boat, okay? But Sad H Guru and Anthony Robbins couldn't be any more different and more alike in some ways. They're both hungry for wisdom and knowledge. But Anthony Robbins talks about mirroring people. And when I went into this interview, the guy sat down, and so I sat down. He shook my hand a certain way. I shook his hand a certain way. He looked at me a certain way, and I looked at him a certain way. He said, hi. I said, hi. And I did everything he did. I didn't have any mortgage experience. More importantly, no college. I did try college. I tried it for a little bit. It wasn't me. It wasn't for me. I mentioned before I wanted to try to go into like psychology and, trying to help people and stuff like that. Therapy isn't really listening to people all day long about their issues. I'm not that type of person. And I would be the kind of person to like want to just get them motivated and tackle it head first where therapy is. I would assume, I've never been in therapy, but I would assume there's tactfulness to it, an approach, a particular techniques. But this mortgage company guy was smitten with me. He was just, and the reason why he wanted to hire me is because I probably reminded him a lot of himself. And let me tell you, I don't normally act the way that I acted in the interview. I wanted that job badly. And I knew that since I didn't have college to offer, that I was going to have to talk in this guy's language. And in sales, you learn about people's hot buttons and how to push them. If a person says hello, you say, "Hey, how you doing today? This is Mike." You know to match that energy a little bit and get their attention. Hello. I mean, the guy's he's hyped up today. He wants you to get to the point. And some people are a little more emotional. "Hey, hello. How you doing today?" "Hi, my name's Mike. Calling you today from Meta. We're the third largest copy machine." To be a little more emotional. So, in this, hiring managers they're people, and this is important because if you don't have a career that excites you, if you don't have a passion that excites you, if maybe you do have a passion that excites you, maybe you know what you want, this interview could be important for you. Okay, it could be an interview to get into a college, or it could be an interview for a job. So realize when you have set forth your requirements, your salary requirements, or you've set forth 50 people that you're going to get interviews with, or 200 that you're targeting, and you want to secure 50 interviews. Local library may have a microfiche. It's like a microfiche, like a search where you can search companies in your local area, and you can search by volume of how many people work there, how big the company is, how much they're worth, and you can break it down into relevancy, because the more money they're worth, the more they're probably going to be willing to pay you. And networking is huge. Go to the Chamber of Commerce meetings, bring business cards, go to networking meetings, go get on social media, study the places that you do end up having the interview with. But the people that are hiring managers, they're advocating that every detail counts, and they have obligations to hire the right people. And beyond your resume and things like this, you want to definitely have all of your ducks lined up in a row. So remember to turn off your cell phone, things like that. Look sharp, and you want to curtail your questions about that job. You want to be in the mind frame of really authentically having questions. Okay, a key question could be, if you're a salesperson, so who's your number one salesperson, and how much can they make? Once I work here, I want to be, my goal is to become the top salesperson. What can I make? What can I realistically make in the first 5 years working for this company? I'm really motivated. I really just want to understand the commission structure. I want to know what the top salesperson, what they kind of make. If you could let me into that sort of thought process, that'd be great. And I think it's important for you. You're there on a sales position. You're a sales executive. You're an account manager. You want to hit that next tier. That's very case-centric to yourself. And I think that it's important to probe and study the company and study the position and research it, Google it, come up with plausibilities, and come up with these thoughts. Because think about it, if you're going to be going into hiring managers and getting interviewed 50 times in a month, it's going to be important to take each company seriously, look into that company, create a brainstorming list of questions, because you can use that over and over and over and over again. And landing a good job can be the next level for you. So have your salary requirements in line, and make sure that your people that you have references with, make sure that they're studious, make sure that their career interesting, and that they can handle a phone call well. Somebody who's pleasant, somebody who's got the people skills. You don't want to hand it over to your mortician friend and get that phone call, or the person who's just doesn't have that good energy, so to speak. So definitely, if you're sharing anything in your social media, any examples that you have, definitely all the questions that you answer, examples about your past and things like this. can definitely be very, very important. You want to be thinking about yourself in a way that makes them want to buy you, to buy into you, and to buy you. To So tell me about your past job. What did you do not so well? And you can say, well, I really enjoyed working for Peterman Construction. I loved the sales process. I felt as if that I wanted to take a larger role, and at times I just felt that I wish there was just more I could do, and I sort of instead of feeling restless, I definitely wanted to take more initiative. And to tell you, to tell you the truth, that's why I'm here today. I want to gain initiative and ability to have to take charge. Some kind of a spin like that. You definitely want to be selling yourself and selling yourself in a quantitative manner. You can say also with a little specificity. I was able to land a very large account. It was something that company had never done before. I was able to raise sales in my department by 100%. The large account to this day is still providing great quality and good income for the company that I worked for, and I feel really proud about it. And I'd like to do the same here. Something upon that sort of a line of thought. But remember, you can say it. You can go through these scenarios 50 different times. Having yourself studied up is very, very important. I think it's important to get onto YouTube and type in hiring managers and check out what kind of questions they're going to ask you. And it definitely wouldn't hurt. So, get yourself looking good. Get your story straight. Make sure that your social media accounts are you, not holding a Budweiser going, hey, what's up? Trim it down a bit. Be professional. Everything about you is going to be, in front of the hiring manager, if you like it or not, and they're just looking to make a good decision. We're talking about this career, odd jobs, and me and Steve will get into that a little bit. And if we repeat ourselves, listen, that we're going to repeat ourselves. It's things are going to overlay, and repetition is the mother of skill. So, what I want everyone to realize is that careers, you got to make it your skill. You are going to have in your lifetime 10 careers. And that is, you're not just going to be a window cleaner like I did. And even I wasn't just a window cleaner. I did sales. In my youth, my teenage years, I started with a paper route and went into sales, telemarketing, and, got into window cleaning a little bit, and, was into music, and, I did the mortgage business and did the copy machine sales business, and morphed into what I'm doing now, which I went from window cleaning to I'm transitioning into creative ventures, so to speak. Me and Steve have Life Uncovered, and I also own a bunch of domain names, and I will be going into domaining in a little bit as a career. And yes, it's a career. People make millions doing it. It's a specific niche career. But going into this, if you want to type in handyman makes $1,000 in one day, okay? And it goes into how he does it specifically. And I have watched this video. He is under the label The Handyman. That's his YouTube tagline, The Handyman. This is a subscriber name. He's got 186,000 subscribers. And Handyman makes $1,000 in one day is the title. How he does it, The Handyman. So, again, Handyman makes $1,000 in one day. How he does it, The Handyman. So this guy, he works for a lot of different people. And a lot of different other videos I'd seen, people making $800 a day, $1,500 a day, $1,000, and he will service different landlords and their needs to fix a door, or fix a window, or fix a toilet, or fix a refrigerator. I'm not saying that's what this guy specifically does, but I'm just paraphrasing what he does. But if you're a person who's a handyman, the world should be your oyster. You should make a flyer with every single thing that you do, or that you think would make the phone ring. And you should be jamming those flyers in mailboxes, leaving them around in public places that accept flyers, laundromats or churches. You should be in the church newsletter offering your services, because when people get to be a certain age, they can't do stuff. And they look for somebody. And one thing as a window cleaner I know of, people always want me to do stuff for them. And I say, no, I'm just a window cleaner. I specifically just do window cleaning. And the reason why is because, I need to have 20 appointments a week to make great money. And if you want to make thousands of dollars a week, you have to have a lot of appointments and be really driven to close deals and do the houses. And you got to work with the weather. But you as a handyman, you should be really making amazing income. The church newsletters, you're a member there. You can mention, I'm a member. Odd jobs. I do painting, odd jobs, drywall fixing, light fixtures, everything that you're into, and make it appealing, and that phone will ring and ring often. So odd jobs is something, if you're handy, you might be thinking about this, but also look into how you're going to market it. I would type in guerrilla marketing and look at everything that they say under guerrilla marketing, because a lot of times people that are good at a particular skill are not good at being an owner, or not good at being into marketing or making the phone ring, and you have to make the phone ring. Type in odd jobs in Google and type in images or odd job specials and just see what kind of sales copy, what kind of call to actions are they using to pick up their phone to ring. Maybe even Groupon. I mean, it sounds crazy, but half off, first 50 people that call for odd jobs, or 25% off, or whatever. Type in odd jobs and Groupon and images under the image search. There's all images, videos. Type in images and voila. So making $1,000 in a day, if that doesn't get you excited, I really don't know what else would. The guy's killing it. Do you need specialty wisdom and specialty knowledge and specialty tools? Well, sure, but you can pick up tools at garage sales, estate sales. You can ask for them for Christmas. You can get out there and hustle, work hard, and maybe work a side job and get some tools that you need. So this is really exciting. It's a great video. Handyman makes $1,000 in one day. The Handyman is his YouTube subscriber name, and how he does it, The Handyman. That's the thing you search. Handyman makes $1,000 in a day. How he does it, The Handyman. Boy, going into the domainers, if you're really good at selling things and you have a passion for domain names, some people make money buying and selling domains, and all I have to do is just go onto YouTube and type in domain names. Okay. And you're going to see the community of people that are into the domain names. And I want to preface this because there's lots of people talking about flipping domains. There's a lot of people talking about their system, and there's all kinds of systems. They want to sell you stuff. And the domain name business is strange because if you call a domain broker and you talk to him, he's going to be selling you on the dream that you own a domain name like cars.com or house.com or, realestate.com. He's dreaming that you have this domain name and that he can sell it. And the reason, the hyperbole behind it is, if you're a domain broker and you take a domain name like realestate.com or banking.com or houseflipping.com, or maybe not houseflipping, flip.com. What they want to do is they want to be famous. Now, one of the key sources in the domain name business is a website called Domain Name Journal. So we're going to type that in, dnjournal.com. And it lists what domain names are selling for today. And Domain Name Wire is a good industry insider look into domain names, and Domain Name Journal. It's a good podcasting source. But here we got the domain sales. So you'll see a list. One of the lists they have on here is the year-to-date sales chart. It goes through different domains that sold for a lot of money. Blackcrows.com sold for $30,000. Okay, and it goes into who sold it. Live.chat sold for $125,000. And that sold at Donuts, and it sold on 2/6/2020. Results.com and Profitable.com. Results.com sold for $264,000. Profitable.com sold for $200,000. So they're wanting to see domain names like this because the industry then says, well, Matt Richards, a broker for Profitable.com, let's just say that was his domain. And, he knows that he's going to get a huge commission check. I believe they get 15% or something like that. But if it's $1 million domain, you're talking about a $100,000 commission check, $150,000. Obviously, if I own Blue.com and I want to sell it for $5 million, obviously, I'm going to want to negotiate the commission down. I'm not going to say, I'll let you have a commission, but I'm only going to give you 5%. And I don't know if it's common to have some kind of an agreement or negotiation, but if you type in the word domain name broker and it's something that you'd like to be, it's a fascinating business because you can do it while you're still working. I own probably right now about 350 domains, and I'd owned Life Uncovered I bought it maybe 10 years ago, and through conversations with Steve, my friend, we were talking about things we want to do in life, and just both of us really felt smitten with helping people, and we wanted to make a difference. And the cherry on the sundae, the cherry on top was the fact that 80% of people hate what they do for a living. And Steve's had a very long road to haul. So have I, and many different twists and turns. We both have lived a little bit of the Forrest Gump lifestyle. Me, maybe a lot more in some ways, but it's fascinating to see all the people that we know and what they've done with themselves and their careers and society as a whole, to see the trends. It's never boring. But so we have we had covered odd jobs today. We've covered we've covered the domain name broker. I personally do window cleaning for a living. I can go over that a little bit with you. And Domain Name Wire is a good source for the domain brokering, and Domain Name Journal, dnjournal.com. So window cleaning for me, you have to be a specific person, I think, to do well at window cleaning. And you have to get out there and clean windows for people and understand how to use the equipment. What I've heard about my competition, some of my competition, uses ladders on high up windows, and it's totally not needed. I have a machine that it filters the water. It's pure water. The pole gets up there and it's got a brush. It scrubs the window. It does a thorough job. It's clean. I've used it in 50,000 square foot homes, mansions. Perfect job. And it is unnecessary to be climbing up on a ladder 4 stories and risking your life. Some people are born on ladders, and trust me, some people die falling off ladders. So if you're going to get in the window cleaning business, you have to understand how to use the tools. Yes, you have to understand how to take a squeegee and take a sponge and water and froth it up, make it so that the water and the soap is on that window, and you have to learn how to do the S shape with a 0 degree squeegee. It's a special squeegee that it takes a good year to master, and you have to have perfect technique. You've got I've done it 50,000 times in my life, 100,000, maybe 200. I don't even know how much. A thousand times a day for sure. I'll do the squeegee technique, and you master it, and it's an art form. It's a dance. It's beautiful. But to get into your own business, you're going to have to obviously, get some window cleaning supplies. It only takes $100 or so to get in the business. You're going to need some business cards, and you're going to need to make the phone ring. And at first, you're going to have to go into businesses and talk to them. This is kind of the easy part because they don't want to do it. It's not what they do. If they own a small cigar or cigarette shop or vaping shop or a chicken, they're selling food or chicken, or they have a small shoe store or clothing store. They don't want to be out there doing their windows. Some owners are extremely independent, and yes, they will do their own windows. But for the most part, no big deal. They want you to do it. Now, the problem with commercial window cleaning is the prices are dictated by supply and demand. If they get people in their place, some people have no insurance. Some people have, they don't have an office building. They don't have a very nice truck. They don't have a storage facility. They don't have the best equipment. And, those people aren't making $500, $600, $700 a day either. But they are willing to work hard and clean 3 or 4 places to make $200 a day. And they drive the prices down in commercial because it's a low-hanging fruit. What do I need to get started? A squeegee, a sponge, a pole. Watch some videos on YouTube, how to window clean, business cards, and you're off and running. And a lot of these people will just, maybe they're collecting unemployment, maybe they're collecting some form of income, and maybe their life expenses aren't that much. So to them, $200 a day, $4,000 a month is sign me up. I mean, they're willing to do it, and obviously they're probably going to make $3,000 a month after taxes. I assume everybody's paying their taxes, but the house part of it, the residential part, you have to have pretty good experience with your equipment and an understanding of window cleaning, because you have to have insurance, and you don't want to be making claims because you're not comfortable with your equipment. You have to understand the process of cleaning houses, and it's not hard. It's just your first 100 houses is going to be a challenge because every house has a story. For example, you might want to you're opening the windows up, and maybe you bidded the job, and maybe this house is 5,000 square feet, but half the windows, maybe the house is settling, and maybe half the windows were difficult to open the windows and get the screens out, and maybe the person before broke half their screens. Okay, now you got a problem. And you have to really understand that you're not going to even fathom half the things that are going to be difficult for you. Okay, just that screen alone, now half your day is going to be spent fighting with screens. I mean, literally fighting to get them out, fighting to put them in, fighting to clean them, fighting with the owner and fighting is a horrible word to use, but you've got to fight back. So you've got to, if a job starts to go where the house is settled, that job just may not be for you. I've had jobs where I've just the job wasn't gelling with me, and I didn't take it on. I take on about 97% of jobs. I mean, I work for a rate that I tell people exactly what I'm willing to do that house for. I can Google their house and their address and find out exactly how many rooms, how many square feet, every single thing about it. And I tell them that price is contingent upon the windows working correctly, the screens working correctly. If I have any issues, then we'll have to deal with it then and there. And I do track restoration, but I do it on a specialty basis. If a person has never had their window cleaning tracks cleaned, I mean, I could be spending 5 days there, and I'm not doing it for you're going to pay my all day rate for 4 or 5 days, and that's non-negotiable because it's an investment in their home, and it's disgusting, the amount of dirt and mold, and it's dangerous. I mean, in my insurance, it clearly states that they're not responsible for me being injured for mold. Period. I'm taking risks that I shouldn't. And if you nick yourself and get some disgusting bacteria or mold in there, who knows? So, another thing, for example, is maybe the painter oversprayed. It was a windy day out, and all of a sudden, the windows aren't coming clean as advertised, and they're coming clean, but there's an anomaly of the overspray. So there's also these little tiny little dots that end up on windows, and it comes from like saplings of trees or this, that, the other. It comes from trees. Wind hits things, and they stick all over these windows, and it can make it hard to make the window beautiful and perfect because it creates little drip marks, and you have to buff these out. And so, anyways, when you're doing these houses, yeah, you can make $600-700 in a day. You can do 2 great jobs a day, or 3 smaller jobs. I mean, great meaning 5,000 square feet. I could do 2 of them, 1 in the morning, one in the afternoon. Or you can do 3 smaller homes and make the same amount or close to it. But wow, I mean, you really have to have all the tools. I personally have watched over 10,000 videos on YouTube on window cleaning. I literally have. I don't know if there's that many YouTube videos, but it has felt like 10,000. Every single thing you can type for window cleaning. I mean, I have searched it. I've got 30 years experience. I've got a storage unit filled with every single type of tool you could ever imagine. I know how to use my equipment, but I'm telling you, when you first start a window cleaning business, it would behoove you to start with just maybe a Ranch Homes and just get used to, the window cleaning process. Maybe even just drive around and have a flyer and write down 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. I was just at your house today. I'll clean your windows for $180 or whatever, and the specialty proposal just for them. A flyer that says everything you do for window cleaning, and then write on it a handwritten note or something. I do Ranch Homes. I specialize. I'm willing to clean your home today for $180. So that'll get you your first 100 homes. It'll get your feet wet, get some money in your pocket, and then maybe you can graduate. Oops. I thought I had my phone off. Sorry about that, everybody. So, actually, I'm just going to turn this off. Okay, we've turned it off. All right. So, you can graduate to the bigger homes, and okay, listen, I was walking once in a home, and I'm going to tell you some of the dangers. And the marble floor was white, and you couldn't see the step below. It was an illusion. And I almost literally broke my back. I mean, I fell, and it was slippery, and it was painful, and I thank God today that I didn't break my back. So, I'm in this home. I'm cleaning the windows for this guy. He owns 700 strip malls. He's worth millions. Maybe he's worth $200 million. I don't even know how much money this guy had. He's got money from Dubai, and I don't know. He just buys strip malls, and I don't know. So I'm cleaning windows for him, and his mirror in his entrance of his house, they had me clean a glass bar, mirrors. They tortured me. Okay, I made like $1,200 on the job. I worked for 2 days, and the guy before me was going to do it for $3,000. And I got the job from a real estate broker, an awesome guy, really cool dude. Makes the best spaghetti sauce on planet Earth. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. And wish I probably should have him on this podcast. He's amazing. But, the guy before him was going to do it for like $3,000 or something like that. But anyways, I should have listened to myself. I should have went for that price. But, they were price shopping. And they're professional negotiators, and they beat me up to get me this job, and I knew someone they knew, and I had to be careful. No matter what, I had to make this guy happy. And the mirror, I mean, it is a $100,000 mirror. I don't know what the price tag was, insurance-wise, but I'm cleaning this mirror, and, looking back, I mean, what the hell was I thinking cleaning this mirror? I mean, boy, they could have said it. I scratched it. I altered it. I mean, they could have said literally anything. And yeah, I mean, there goes your first insurance claim. And once you've used one insurance claim, you are done. Because now the next insurance claim you get, which, you could trip and a pole could go through a window and a window could cost $3,000. The next insurance claim you get, you're going to get removed. You're going to get dumped. And anytime you go to get insurance, they're going to say, have you had claims? And then you'll have to explain. And you'll have to pay very, very high rates, and you may not be able to get insurance at all. Or you'll be getting insurance that's very costly, and you would have to factor that into your window cleaning business. I've had poles where I was in a hurry, and I just didn't look up, and I almost hit a power line. That's a good way to not be here no more. I've had a small, little dog. These little metal rods they put in the ground to keep the dog chained in, and I've almost broke my leg and my ankle tripping over them. It's really hard to see them with the leaves. You got to walk slow on the job. You got to be very, very purposeful on the job. So with the bigger homes, there's money in it, but you have to be an absolute master, and you've got to, like I said, you got to go out and get some commercial window cleaning experience, get some money coming in every month. It's easy to build up a route for $2,000 a month, $3,000. Do some ranch homes on the side, and then over time migrate into a bigger palette of homes. And every single minute that you're working, do pay attention, do care about your quality of your work, and I definitely would meditate and get your head straight. Sad H Guru is an amazing mystic. I recommend him, and get when you're on that job. I mean, that's someone's home. You want every window to look perfect, and you have to master the skill and the skills and the workmanship and the focus, and to know your tools and to always improve. And I learn something every single time I clean a house. I learn something. It's amazing, and I really love window cleaning. But I'm getting into this process of doing the Life Uncovered and some other private study with myself. And the studies that I have going on with myself are very, very important, because at the end of the day, yes, you are running your own business, but you have to excel at all the disciplines that relate to the window cleaning, and marketing is central to the window cleaning. And how you bid a job, and understanding your market, understanding the value proposition between yourself and a client is super important. And you have to have the basics of the equipment and how to clean the home down, and you have to be running optimally in all phases of the window cleaning. And it's super vital to have yourself very, very figured out and running on all cylinders in your personal life and in your business life. So check out episode 2 of the Life Uncovered podcast. This is concluding episode 1. Again, subscribe with the YouTube, subscribe with Life Uncovered. Thank you so much for listening, and please listen to episode 2. It's going to be leaving and continuing on a lot of the things that we've spoke about here in episode 1. Thanks a lot. Bye.